Hey guys, my name is Kay, and this is the sad story of Emmeline Burns. I saw that this game was on Steam for free, so I thought I may as well give it a try. Let's get started. My name is Toma Andrews, and I am a victim of identity theft. It's all Aunt Catherine's fault, of course. Most things are, according to Mum. Stealing Mum's favorite dress when they were both schoolgirls was bad enough, but stealing the name of her first and only daughter, now that's a low that not many of us can sink to within our lifetimes. My name was supposed to be Amelia. Mum has always loved the name Amelia, though I don't know why. She wanted to call me Amelia if I was a girl, and Thomas if I was a boy, after her father. And then Aunt Catherine ruined everything. Aunt Catherine fell pregnant with her first child around the same time my mom found out she was going to have me. Their due dates were also very similar, only a few weeks apart. Though Mom and Aunt Catherine have never been particularly close, they spent more time together during their twin pregnancies than they had done over the last decade. They attended the same hospital for their checkups and went to the same support group at the Civic Center, and their rocky relationship improved over complaints about bladder infection, morning sickness, and uncontrollable cravings for anchovies for Mom, or smoked cheese for Aunt Catherine. And then Aunt Catherine stole my name. Aunt Catherine is 1 year younger than my mom, but she has always got things first. That's what Mom told me. She was the first to have her period, to pierce her ears, and to have a serious boyfriend. She was the first to have a baby too. A baby girl. A girl called Amelia. Mom didn't know what to do, having her dream name stolen away from her so suddenly. She had half a mind to confront Aunt Catherine about it, but she didn't in the end. She'd only just begun to repair her relationship with her sister, and she didn't want to ruin it. But she was still annoyed. She still is. Mom could have called me Amelia anyway, but the name didn't feel special to her anymore, not when Aunt Catherine had used it. In the end, after much deliberation, Mom decided to go with her second option, Thomas. Since I was a girl, however, Thomas was out of the question. Was there a female variant of Thomas then? Thomasina? Thomasandria? Thomasetta? Maybe not. There was Toma, however. Toma Andrews. And that's how I got my name. That might explain why I don't like it very much. My name isn't really mine. Like clothes that are 2 sizes too big. It doesn't fit me properly. It never has. That's because it was never intended for me. If I had been called Amelia, would my life be different? Would it change who I am? I don't know. But I've never been an Amelia. I'm just Toma, the weird girl with the weird name. And my name isn't the only weird thing about me. Ever since I can remember, my mom has been obsessed with family history. She says it's like playing detective, peeking back into the past with only fragments of information, trying to find the truth. Mom took me to the library with her when I was little, so she could keep a watchful eye over my little blonde head while she delved into the annals of our family's long lost history. There, she would spend hours and hours searching through the online database and old archives on the hunt for articles about the Spencers, or the Kendalls, or the Lintons, or the Becketts, or the Bradfords. Fortunately, our family used to be pretty rich back in the day. Mom says it's a lot easier to research your family tree if you come from a wealthy background. There are more records kept on the comings and goings of the rich, as opposed to street beggars and paupers. That's probably because of the money. As soon as money is involved, people will pay attention to you. It was like that back in the 1700s, and it's exactly the same now. I remember that the floor of the library was hard, covered in dark green carpet that was uncomfortable and scratchy, and the walls were dull gray like the concrete blocks in a multi-story car park. Though Mom got me a library card, I always got bored within the first half hour or so. There are only so many times you can reread volumes of Goosebumps. Despite these inconveniences, however, I still found the stories Mom would tell me about my long-dead relatives interesting. The stories sounded like they came from the pages of a book, not real life, not history, not my history. There were stories about my great-great-grandfather, Zachary Kendall, who used to be a priest, but was fired from his post after he physically assaulted a member of his congregation while drunk on Christmas Day. There were stories about my great-great-great-grandmother, Maribel Spencer, who ran away from home at the age of 15 to marry her middle-aged piano teacher, Roger Baguette. There were stories about my great-great-great-great-aunt, Rose Bradford, who was rumored to be a witch and claimed she could cure any ache or illness with a sprig of holly. I don't know why, but these stories my mom told me of unknown people from unknown times always resonated with me. Maybe it was because they weren't fictional characters or celebrities, but real people, my family, part of me. I wouldn't be alive right now without Zachary Kendall, even if he did beat up a member of his congregation. And I wouldn't be alive without Maribel Spencer, even if she did have a thing for older men who would play a semi-decent Ellis? In a way, I owe them a lot. I suppose what they say is true. Blood is thicker than water. And speaking of blood, the local library wasn't the only place my mom's investigation led her. Oh no. That was just the tip of the iceberg. She used to take me to cemeteries a lot. Not just the cemetery, Barrowby, All Saints, but cemeteries all across Lincolnshire, and sometimes even further afield to Yorkshire or Leicestershire. The only thing about family history is, if you get obsessed with it like Mom, birth certificates and death certificates stop being enough. You want to see real evidence of your ancestors' past lives for yourself. Hence, the graveyards. Lots and lots of graveyards. Every weekend, without fail, my mom would take me on a trip to a graveyard, searching for ancestors. Sometimes we turn it into a game. We challenge one another to see who could find Rose Bradford's final resting place the quickest. The winner got to choose what we listened to in the car on the way home. Being my mom's daughter, I hated her taste in music, and I was desperate to beat her. I got quite good at finding graves, if I do say so myself. Even though I was around 7 or 8, and my legs weren't as long as my mom's, I was able to beat her 9 times out of 10. I used to think she was going easy on me. Now, I'm not so sure. I just have a talent. I'm good at finding dead people, even if they have been dead for 2 centuries, and all that's left behind are bones. Now, let me just get one thing straight. I'm not crazy. I don't think dead people call out to me or anything. I've never seen a ghost before, excluding the ones in horror movies. I guess it's just a coincidence. But it's quite a strange coincidence. Whenever I went to a graveyard with my mom, I just knew where to look, almost instinctively. My feet just happened to lead me to the tombstone, and via some strange skill I might have inherited from Rose Bradford, the self-proclaimed psychic, I was usually right. That might be why I'm so obsessed with cemeteries, even now. Just like some people prefer hot weather, others cold, I like graveyards. They remind me of my childhood. Of fun times spent with my mom searching for my relatives. When I went out looking for graves with my mom, I was almost always right. Ever since I started attending St. Hugh's College, however, I've only felt wrong. Though I get good grades in most of my classes, I'm hopelessly lost when it comes to anything beyond that. I have hardly any friends, other than Haiti. And even she might turn against me if she knew how I felt about her. I'm nothing like Emmeline Miller, who just so happens to be in the same form as me. She's always surrounded by people. They all love her. Would they love me if I'd been called Emily instead? I don't know. But I do know, even though it's unfair and ridiculous and I don't dislike Amelia, I'm still jealous of her. Her parents are still together, and her dad has a good job, and she has nice skin and pretty blue eyes, and she's incredibly popular. I, on the other hand, am awkward and shy, and I can't hold a conversation with anybody other than Haiti. That might be another reason why I like graveyards. There are a lot of people in them, but they can't bother me like they do in school. They're dead, and that's perfectly fine by me. As the saying goes, dead men tell no tales. They only leave tales behind, which we can examine as we see fit. That's why I came to Barrowby All Saints this Friday. Instead of catching the bus to go to school, I just wanted some time off. A few moments where I can stop being myself, a person I've never liked. If only I had been born as an Amelia. Then my life would be so popular, so much better. I would have been so much better. And I think we can stop here. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and sorry for my misreadings. I'm not really good when it comes to, I guess, reading off screen. So,